This video is not intended for viewers under the age of 13. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, fans and fellow toy junkies. Welcome back to the channel. During my hunt, I found both Rhinox and, amazingly, I found Kingdom Galvatron. I was shocked that I found him. There was only one on the shelf, so I don't know if it's coming in one per package or if somebody had already bought one, but it was pulled forward, so maybe it is one per package. But anyhow, here's the packaging. Looks really good with the artwork on the front. Nice artwork on the side. I love the arc up there on the top. You've got the Kingdom logo on the side and 33 steps. We'll test that out. Stay tuned. So here's everything you get in the package. You get the standard white and green instruction booklet that we become used to getting. It does a really good job of walking you through the transformation. The card that I got was Dinobot, which I've seen before, but I don't remember seeing Dynamis. I don't know if that's new or not. Tell me in the comments, is that a card we've had before? I haven't seen personally. Maybe that is the case. You do get his gun, which I have mixed feelings about this. It's neat that they included it. It's sad that it's just gray, but obviously it does separate and it forms two ships very similar to the Revenge that he was granted by Unicron. They themselves are very nicely detailed, sculpted well. It's a shame they don't have any color. They have multiple mounting options. They look pretty nice, and they do hold together reasonably well. And then we have the Matrix, which is surprising, to be honest. It is very nicely painted with silver along the outside and then orange and blue in the middle. It's nicely detailed. The chain I had mixed feelings about before I bought it, but I actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. It's got the tightening nut on the back. That's how detailed it is. It is rigid, but it's honestly, it's a nice looking matrix that's on there. So, well done, Hasbro. If you want to, you can store the guns on the cannon mode. I think it kind of looks ridiculous, but they simply slide on to this port right here. He will hold the Revenge guns just fine. Either double or single, your choice. And if you want, you can actually store them on the back. While I bump the camera, here is the way I like to do it, off of these pegs, just because it doesn't stick up near as much on the back of the head. Or I believe the instructions say to do it like this, which in my opinion is a lot more difficult to do and just sticks up way too much. Your choice. Another option you have is you can bring in the Matrix in alt mode, and you can store it here. It does have a peg that it lines up with. Right there on the top of his chest. So you have that option for display purposes. You can also bring in your Matrix, work it around his head, And there you go. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, I honestly won't be using it, but it is an option. Now, the last accessory you get, of course, is the cannon. So we'll talk about all of that right now when we take a look at the alt mode. I have to admit, I love the detail and the sculpt on this. It looks really, really good. Nicely painted and sculpted throughout, even the inside of the rear. But there's a look from the back. Got a lot of sculpted detail in there, which they did have to include. It looks nice. Some painted scorch marks there. This is the only purple I know of that's painted. Everything else I believe is just plastic. But nice black and red. Looks really good. Coming along the back. Good look at the detail here. Nicely sculpted legs. Love the tank treads. They do have wheels, as well as the back here. Coming across the front, the actual barrel is clear plastic with some paint accents towards the end. Looks really good. Nice painted silver barrel section here, and then gunmetal gray, almost black, where the orange barrel goes into Galvatron. It is blast effect compatible, but it just, to me, I think it looks outstanding. I was surprised at how much I liked it, but there's the view from the bottom. And looking straight down from the top. So much sculpted detail. It's really shocking. It does have wheels, so it can roll. You do have the option of adjusting the angle. You can move this guy back, and you can adjust the feet accordingly, so you can change the height, and you can also articulate the legs to give it more of a straight up look, just by angling the feet. So you do have multiple displaying options in cannon mode. I think it's really well done. Just for a scale comparison, here he is with a deluxe class car and a masterpiece sized car. So let's take a look at the transformation. First thing you want to do is go ahead and separate the cannon and take the back of the gun off, and go ahead and put these together. We can take a look at these really quick. Nicely done with the painted plastic and clear plastic. It looks really good. Nicely sculpted and detailed silver and black into the gun. But we'll set that aside for now. First thing I like to do with the transformation is go ahead and take care of the legs, because they're the easiest part. So you want to fold this up, fold that up, and boom. Next thing you want to do is come down here, go ahead and separate this. It's attached by this little peg right here on the side of what would be the side of the chest. Pop this section loose and go ahead and bring this up out of the way. Do the same thing here. Pop it out. Pop the gray section loose and bring it up. From here, we can go ahead and bring the leg down. This is pegged into this section down here. We can also swing this guy up. Now we want to bring the arms back down. I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit. And this will pivot back. You want to bring this back a little bit, separate this from here, bring out Megatron's head, and with a little manipulation, plug that back into place. Now, this should peg into place here. It's got this peg which will go into that slot. There we go. Bring this section up. Swing the point up. Now, with the chest, or with the arms, this peg is going to go into that slot. And I like to make sure you get it in there snug. You'll feel it pop in. Do the same for the other side. And you can bring these down. Again, this peg will go into that slot. And same on this side. Here, go ahead and position your shoulder pads. Which mine are stiff. So moving these around may pop these out. So just be aware of that. From here, go ahead and take the tank treads, pivot them back, unpin the arms from the shoulders, and swing out the rest. Do the same on this side. See, these do come loose a little bit easier than I would like. Even that reassuring snap doesn't mean they're going to stay in place. If they haven't already, rotate the side skirts into place, coming down to the lower body. Separate the legs, give them a twist. Now this section here will pop loose and do a flip and plug in on the back of the leg. And you have the option, you could flip out the heel spurs if you want. He's actually very stable without them, but just so I don't have any issues with him falling over during the review, I'll keep him out. And there we have, so he says, Kingdom Galvatron. And I have to say, he looks good. I'll get him cleaned up, we'll take a look at him. One thing I didn't show quite right on the back, you want to make sure that this peg goes into the same hole that the cannon mounts in. And that will make that nice and secure. And here we have Kingdom Galvatron. And I have to say, I'm actually finding this to be my favorite Kingdom character to date. It's a very close tie to Cyclonus, but he's blown me away, to be honest. He does look amazing. Paint, sculpt, and everything are astonishing. There's a good look at the face. Nicely painted silver with red eyes. It does have some articulation, definitely got some attitude. Minimal up and down, but you can do a full 360 with it. Shoulders can go up to there, actually all the way up. Full 360. Nicely detailed. Nicely detailed, molded in detail. Got some space sludge or snot or whatever you want to call it, possibly battle damage, but they are on a upper bicep rotation. Can do a full 180 on the elbow. Hands do rotate, And due to transformation, there's some in and out. Here's the detail on the chest. More battle damage, whatever you want to call it. I love the painted red and silver abs. They look great. Coming down to the waist. I don't know why, but you could flip up his diaper if you want. It does have waist rotation. Coming down the legs. You can go all the way forward, all the way back if you want, all the way out. Knee can bend to a 90. You do have a thigh swivel. And feet do have a rocker. No up and down though. But if you look at the back of the leg, it's pretty neat how this works. It's actually built into the kickstand for cannon mode, and you can see the sections move when you utilize the ankle rocker. So some pretty cool engineering there. Articulation wise, he looks great, but let's take a lot more look at the detail. You do have the rib sections that we're used to on the legs. Too bad they couldn't have been painted silver, but nicely detailed throughout. Even the inside of the thighs, or the inside of the legs. Coming around to the back. Cleans up exceptionally well in the back. Now, as far as the shoulders go, I'm not certain if this is the proper build for it. I do know that I've read that there are people reporting that the ones they're finding do have the proper shoulder configuration, but mine, if you spin it, the shoulders do sit higher with the pin going forward. I don't like the pin, so I'm going to leave them lower, but I'm led to believe that they're supposed to sit higher than they're sitting now. Let me know in the comments, by all means. I'm not opposed to trying a fix for it. If there is a fix, then yeah, I can do that in a separate video. But overall, he looks amazing. Let's go ahead and bring in the shoulder cannon. Now you have two options. You have a higher mount, which gives you that look, which still works. You get the arm movement without it, or if you want, if you're 80s fan, you can get the Galvatron that you know and love and plug it directly into the arm, which is probably what I'm going to do. It looks a bit long, but I still think it looks good. Tell me how you feel about it. For comparison, here he is with Leader Class Megatron. And here he is with his fellow movie bots. So overall, I think he scales pretty good. Alright, let's bring this to a close. As you can see, I've tried to get him into that famous Galvatron pose from when he was first created by Unicron, but failed miserably. Anyhow, he's truly an astounding figure. If you see him out in the wild, by all means pick him up. I got mine at Target. I was lucky I was in there one day. Right time, right place. Only saw one on the shelf and he's mine. But drawbacks, shoulders do look a bit wonky. I think I do need to do the shoulder fix. So if anybody knows how to do that, by all means hit me up and I'll show it in another video. But other than that, he's nicely detailed, nicely sculpted, nicely accented, and overall good looking figure. I do recommend him highly. He is out in the wild, so good luck on your hunts. And he does come highly recommended for me. All that being said, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to share with your friends. We're trying to get some more subscriptions going. My goal is to get to 500 by the end of October. So hopefully we'll get there, especially if we continue to see results like we have with our Rhinox video. A shout out to Larkin's Lair and also Kato's Collection. I'll put their links in the description below. They shared the video and got me a lot more views than I normally do, and I have to thank my recent increases to my subscriber count to those guys and all of my wonderful fans. All that being said, I hope to see you again next time.